We can start with our invocation. Mr. Tommy, will read this, please.
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you this time to do your business. Lord, we pray for your wisdom and your help to make good decisions for this community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
There is a flag in the room, so we'll ride out the flag. It's on the wall. So, right. Lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just notice the hats above the flag. Quorum is determined. Let the roll call show that Sissy is and Sissy Harper is out, and also Mayor Jack McCall. The next order of business that we have on our agenda is the approval for the February 2023 meeting minutes. They're in your packet. Hopefully you've had, they were quite brief. If anyone has any questions, changes, or alterations, please let us know.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second on the floor. Any communications? So let's move forward and take a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. White and Mr. Berry for the first and second on that meeting minutes. Next order of business is our February 2023 financial report. That also is in your packet. Tommy, is there anything that's changed to it since you printed this for us and sent it out?
The only thing I added, I was able to get a draft budget together for y'all for this year. That's on the end of the paperwork. And then I had a little correction on the water loss thing, which is just financial stuff, no water loss. We're about 8.74% above our revenues above expenses.
So you've got the discussion for the 23-24 budget later on in your manager's.
Yeah,
so we'll discuss that in detail at that time.
Yeah.
So does anyone have any questions or anything on the financials? Let's move into the body on the financials.
Motion to approve February 2023 financial report.
I'll second. On the first, Mr. White, and a second, Mrs. Zappa. Thank you very much. Mayor, we're on the financials right now. Thank you. There is any questions or conversation? All in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now it takes us to our water loss report for February 2023. Mr. Tommy did say that it's in the packet the packet that was presented on the table has the update with a correction from the packet that was emailed to us. So, Mr. Tommy, you have it.
They were back up again around 39% this time. Last month they were 25.8. I think the meters are pretty accurate at the plant. They're within 5% of the raw versus the finish. But, we had that extremely high water sales for the Arctic Cold that 1 month. That's what made the difference. Why it calculates, this is a it's hard to figure out why it calculates what it does. We take the data we get and plug it in here.
But you think this increase is from the cold snap?
Well, that one, no, I don't, it might, it's possible, the way we changed how we read meters too, so. We used to read between the 10th and the 10th, we rotated that to the first of the month. We still bill the same way, but it's always a month behind anyway. But that kind of lines all our data up with the monthly totals, so we're getting our right data for the month when the water plant data gets looked at. We're looking at it from 1 through 30, so we're now looking at our sales through 1 through 30, even though we still stay a billing cycle to 10. But, we're trying to get that in order where it's a little more commensurate. So
I like you.
we're watching. It helps us to keep up with it better. But we still may have some water losses and stuff in the system. But we watch those meters and they're up and down sometimes. Sometimes the flow goes up on them. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it runs wild. We fix a leak, it goes down, it comes back up. We're always looking.
Tommy, this water loss percentage here for the month of February,
Mm-hmm.
is this the first month that it has been calculated with the new billing cycle?
No, we started that back around November, I think, or December, rather.
So that, the changing of the date of the billing cycle, does it really factor much in it as far as it's more toward the code?
You know,
Whether,
well, sometimes you may have your sales comes in high one month and it comes in low the next. Sometimes that throws the data off. It's weird how it works. But all we can do is put the data we get from our records and put it into this formula. And the best we can, we keep up with our leaks and water losses, take those out. Our flushing comes out of it. You can account for all the water you can, and then it does a calculation to tell you what you're losing. So we're taking out flushing data, any leaks that we know of that we can calculate. We try to account for all that water and make the difference between the sales and the losses and actually see what we got unaccounted for.
thank you.
Anybody else have any questions on the water loss report? Our next order of business on the agenda is engineering report from Evan White, the 10 engineer.
We turned all the documents into SRF on the tank. I'm waiting back for them to give us the go ahead for pre-construction on that. I know the contractor is ready to go. The tank contractor they'll come in second, but the one that they're selling out to, Kemp Brothers, they want them to go ahead and do the dirt work and get it ready for them to move in. So I know they're pretty much ready to go as far as what they're telling me. So there won't be no delay once we get all the documents from SRF on that. We're gonna do 319 funding later.
It doesn't matter.
The 319 funding, we went and sat in on that meeting with everybody. Ray Renders now sent an email out for us to apply for some projects there. That's the 178 million that was appropriated for four counties. Regional. But he's telling us just to do a few million at this point to figure out how all this program will work. Tommy's got some extra numbers to go through, I guess, possibly tonight, but the point of it is there's a pool of money out here that's not technically set aside, it's allocated from the federal government. So they have to go ask for draws out of this money. So there's another hurdle to get through to get that allotment. And that's kind of what they're asking for now is, hey, how much do you need to do this project? There's a 20% match, and that's kind of what
he's gonna present tonight, so you're not gonna get a better program with that kind of match, with the financials and, with any other program. I mean, you're just maybe 2% better. I think CDBG's comes in at, anywhere from 12 to 20%, somewhere in there of a match, so. But you only get $500,000 at that too, so. In this case, you could get up to whatever you ask for, you just have to have the money. It was explained to us, it has to be in place.
Yeah.
The 20% has to be allocated and sitting us in the budget for,
You have to have it.
You have to have it in hand.
So it ain't, you can't do the project and then that kind of at the very end, you've got that money.
does it already need to be allocated in the budget as that line item?
They didn't say that, you just have to have a means of getting it. So either you've got it,
You
you've got it sitting somewhere, or you borrow it.
Okay.
You have to borrow. If you don't have the money on hand, you get passed down the road. You don't get to go take your trip down to get your money.
Correct.
If you don't have it in
Right.
hand, your match for whatever you're asking for. That's what we talked about.
So that's something to plan for that needs to be. If you've got something out there you wanna do, there's money, there's 80%, out there to get, but you're gonna have to come up with 20. And, we are gonna apply for something
Mhm.
to figure out all the hoops we're gonna jump through with this congressional money. 'Cause it's on top of state, so
And it's short,
nobody knows.
it's short notice too.
Yeah,
We
we
just
got to the
this.
20th.
We got to the 20th to submit this project, and we gotta give them something by then because it's due. He just sent us email, I think yesterday evening, late.
I think I understood that they said you want to get 2 or 3 smaller projects
Yeah.
to kind of,
Correct.
once you follow
Of
through.
course, he
on
told us
those,
that
it'll
that
open
day
up.
of that meeting, but now they turned around, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
A day ago?
Day
And sent
ago.
an email and said, here, you gotta fill this out.
Gotta fill it out.
And we really didn't understand what it was about, so we found out that it's about that money that's already, we thought it might have been for another allocation, but it's not.
What would a new water treatment plant cost? I mean, ballpark.
Today, we're projecting 20 million for a 5 million plant. I told him by the time it gets here, you could be at 25. I mean,
Getting on time and
So
long
you
way
gotta have
away.
that much money in place when you apply. I
if
mean,
you
the
look, if you
20%.
look at a $25 million,
25.
you gotta have 5 million for your
You gotta
match.
have that
That's up
In your
pretty good.
pocket.
But if you phase it out into different projects, then you do one phase at a time.
Yes, the allotment's gotta be there for each.
A lot.
So if you do 1 million, you've only gotta have, 20, 200, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have 200,000 to match it.
And you could phase it in, like you could do all the prep work and the foundation and all that, and then.
Yes, I know what you're saying. Like the design we put through on ARP. So we're already gonna do the design of the water treatment plant through the ARP funds. But if you wanted another phase, yes, you can ask for it.
And is that
support
final design or is that preliminary design?
it. No, that's
That's
gonna be
final,
final.
that's final.
That's gonna be a set ready to go to construction.
Okay. So final design is on ARP.
Uh-huh.
So there's the few million that you can apply for, then you have to have $600,000 match money.
Explain it, say that again.
If you apply for the 3 million, the
Yeah.
few million,
Yeah,
then you have to have $600,000.
correct.
So,
And it don't have to be, and that's what I'm gonna find out too. We asked the question, if it's something you've already got going on, can it be a reimbursement? They're supposed to be finding that out, they're supposed to be, and it don't.
Overage on the tank, we talked
Yeah.
last time
And
about
after the
Overage on the
fact.
tank, yeah, we asked if that could cover that.
that $1 million was over.
Yeah, we ain't got no answer on that. And then it's set aside for regionalization, but technically you don't have to go that direction from what we gather. In other words, if you need a tank, or if you need a water line, or if you need whatever it is, you ask for it. Now, I don't know if Tommy opened it, but there was another attachment to that that said what community projects are
Mhm.
guidelines for community projects, I think was attached to that email, and if you read in there, it says that there's some board that is gonna vet these projects and either allow them or disallow them, so I don't know if that, at that point, if it's not regional, it gets kicked out or not.
It'll end up having probably a regional concept type deal. I think what I kinda took to was getting our feet wet in this funding and figure out how it works, but once everybody gets a project too behind them, then there's this where we get together with the communities and make some plans for the
big
long
project.
haul, the big project.
You got 10 years.
We got 10 years to get it
That come out
done.
of that meeting too,
That come out of that meeting with you.
10 years.
For a 10-year time, like,
10 years to spend the money,
178 million
or until it's gone,
until it's gone.
Yeah, correct.
or unless it's been allocated.
You know, we learned that from,
Well, the allocation, what they taught was just kinda like, it's just sitting there, you
It's
got
sitting
31
there.
hurdle, it's not
Yeah.
really, that's not sitting there for you to get.
you gotta apply for it or ask for pulls from it.
Yes.
Looks like they're gonna do it annually. Is that now that
Yes.
come into, that thing that come in the email?
And I think it's at a limit of 15 projects.
Stafford, go ahead.
The 178 million, I'm not clear on. How
Senator
long?
Rhodes'
Is it 10
office,
years?
yes. Senator Rhodes requested 178 million for like Lincoln County, Charleston, Sumner. And maybe just 3 counties.
And it was, the purpose was to get water all the way.
Yes. So they did a lot that got passed in the bill. The allocation for 178 million. But it's not sitting there. You actually now have to go back and ask for, this project's gonna cost us X amount of dollars, and they're gonna review that. But nobody knows the steps to go through to do these projects, so. That's why they're wanting us to do a smaller project and see what all is gonna be required before you try to do a $20 million
The
project.
benefits, we've just had the water and sewer plan done, so we know what the goals are
For us, yes.
for
Yes.
us, for
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
That places great data straight in front of us, so we're prepared to.
And that 20 million plant could turn into a bigger number because of the reach. It might have to be
Exactly.
bigger.
Yeah.
So that's where we get through the long plan.
We need to leverage our position because we're on the river. We really need to have that.
They were talking the raw water again, that I think Mr. Ringer had that in mind, but, you know, we brought up the PFAS issue. If PFAS is, and we learned that it is in the Cumberland because they've done previous tests. But if it becomes an issue, then it might be best to do all that in one treatment plant, take care of that. Because I think some of our neighbors are worried about, you know, the water quality issues and all the compliance.
It's understandable.
If you're the seller, TDEC requires the seller to be responsible to some extent for that water quality as it hits each neighbor. And that's how it works with other big sellers of water. A lot of them take care of it and help make sure the water quality is in good shape, make sure people kind of not oversee, but help them make sure they're doing their flushing programs and keeping that water. There's one place in existence that they go pretty good. They got 50,000 customers they feed over several counties, and they've never failed a test. So, I mean, they do a good job with the water quality. It may be a little different, and Cumberland might be a little different challenge, but that's on the Duck River, back toward Tullahoma and Manchester. But that utility is kind of held responsible for that water quality that touches each place. I think that eased a lot of people's minds too, whoever this entity is. And this could become a separate, like, board where multiple counties are on it. It could be different entity design. It's many ways it can be done. But I think the end goal is if you join together as a community and different counties join together, there's always better chances for funding for you in the future too. Because they don't want, you know, that's what they like to see you do.
They was looking at emergency connections
Yeah.
and possibly supplying them with additional water, from what I could gather.
Yeah.
Portland had treatment, Lafayette had treatment, Red Boland's got treatment, Westmoreland buys 100% wholesale. Is that all it is? That's right.
Yeah.
At the meeting. and Cascade. I
Can't
guess they
say
didn't
buys
show,
all
but-
their water. But see, they're the district.
So everybody kind of already had
Yeah.
infrastructure, but yet they didn't have enough to eventually get there, so
We also sell
we
water,
didn't get nothing out of it.
To
As far as
Cascade.
demands from nobody.
a few small, Southside Utility District, Cordell Hull Utility, we sell some areas and have had conversations with them about maybe the possibility of more in the future, but, there's more options to sell water and possibly if we're gonna be a regional source, that might open up more windows with our neighbors that are not municipal owned.
Greg, do you have the latest water and sewer report that the new plan,
The 20-year plan,
the 20-year plan?
I can get it to you.
That might be beneficial for you to have that in your hand. So I think it'd be greatly beneficial for all of us to go back and review the list of what is in front of us between the roads that have not been completed to he has the projects itemized in there for the tanks and for the system as well. Just to refresh our memories so that when we do come back and start talking about actually spending money for some of this, could break it down where it's infrastructure, or you could do some of your infrastructure if you wanted to, if you can't get any after the fact money for that tank or something, and break it up and phase out the projects.
But we're definitely, me and Tommy, I guess, if y'all give us the authority, we're definitely applying for something by the 20th.
Yeah, so this one?
Yes,
And-
like
And do
6
you
days.
do you need a
know it in
movement from
time to
us
do
to
anything
state
quick.
for you to do that?
Well, we're at least gonna try to get it to where y'all can get a draw. Now, I've gotta get on there and figure out it's an online submittal, so I gotta get on there and figure out what questions they're asking, how locked in you're gonna be to like this project, or are we just asking for an amount of money right now without a specific project that's locked in stone?
And we don't know which is the better one to ask for either. That's the,
Well, I guess the question tonight is how much do y'all want to match right now on a project? Because that's 20%, we can back into that. We've got some tanks that need to be rehabbed, other tanks, they're smaller and funds. We can go the regional route and increase some of your lines to your wholesale customers already, and that would go more in line with their concept. I'm trying to think what else you got. We could just do water line extensions and put an amount of money in there for some of them. That's about all I can remember off that 20-year plan that we did. I mean, you got a few storage tanks that need something. You got-
storage tanks that need ADA compliance, there's, or complete
Yeah.
refurbishing or replacement, so.
Well, your year-to-date total right now, we have finances in the banks about 3.8 million. That's what's sitting in the banks. Anything you take out of that would go to depreciation to a project on ours.
But we can send emails or something, I mean, out before we apply, but we've got to have something or you're gonna miss it for a whole
Yeah,
year.
you'll miss it for a whole year. I hate that we just got this and just learned that that's what it was. We thought it was another draw for
Yeah, I
next
thought it
year.
was like
Some whole new
178,
project,
it's
but
just
it
like,
was
you're
not.
gonna ask for this next time.
It opens up to their website and you go on that website. And I asked Evan, I said, I didn't know what this is, but we asked Ray Render, and that's part of this process. Yeah, we had looked at one time extending the 12-inch line on Roger Street down to Halltown, down to take out some of the, we got lines that go from 8 to 6. there's mismatched lines and heading that out towards the school system down there and getting the flow, where the flow's a lot better to everybody. It gets it 8 inch all the way out to Castine almost, down to their, or at least down to the tank.
So the project going across the bridge, the 141 bridge, would that go under
We
the
can put that
upper?
in there.
Yeah.
We could put that in there.
That could go good.
The state don't care, the state's, it's gotta come from y'all.
Yeah, we got to pay it anyway.
Right, we know that.
But we could just say water line extensions and set a value if you wanna put a value. We know what that one is.
Yeah, we've already had to calculate on it.
I hate for us to lose 80 cents of it, I mean, 80 cents on the dollar.
For a year.
For a year.
And nobody knows how fast this is gonna move. So.
You don't know, right?
Well, our biggest hit on 5 million is just $1 million, right?
Yes.
Got to do at least 5.
Yeah.
We couldn't have to do that.
I'd sweeten it with something regional, you know.
Yes.
That carries that carries a lot of the stuff that's already on the regional list.
Yeah. We got several projects like that.
But you could also throw in another smaller project to tie it to it, like, you know, a tank or something.
I've gotta get in the portal to see how it's structured.
Mhm.
I got into it this afternoon before I come, and it was like just a couple, it's basically a paragraph type form thing, like asking like questions. It didn't.
And do remember, this money doesn't leave instantly. This is something that it's a payout. So as it's spent and it's billed and invoiced, that's when
That is correct.
you pay your match money.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody worried that we would lose that money instantly out of the account.
It was every time I make a draw, the way it was
Yeah,
explained to us.
so, kind of works like some of the other project,
Mhm.
grants work.
It's almost like SRF. They're gonna make sure you get the funds there, even though you're not dispersing them, but yet
Yeah.
you don't have to disperse them until it's drawn.
And if you're it's a CD right there. That's the amount that's in in the CD that we just signed. So,
And we don't know if they're gonna approve what we asked for, if they're just gonna tell us.
it's already sitting there.
I don't say that can hurt anything.
And that CD's making more money this year than it did last year now, so. You'd like a motion or anything, or you good?
No, I can't.
What about the body? Are you all comfortable with that figure?
I don't care, can you email us once you dig into it and kind of see what we're looking
That'd
at?
be
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. It don't really take no authority from y'all, cause it's a request. Once they come back with something, then y'all may have to make a.
I just like kind of a broader, better idea, since it's kind of,
Oh, it's last
So
minute.
vague.
It was last minute to us.
It was us
we
too.
don't have equipment out here, you come.
Well, it's about how it went last time.
And a lot of times,
It's about
I know
having all
this
the
isn't,
something.
it's a surplus, like, so they'll find a surplus, so then they'll say, okay, well, you can spend it, but you've got this many days to spend it, so. If we've got a grant that comes.
Well, I think
together.
this is how many times we got into the 178 million last time. It's one of those deals where it was down to they had 2 or 3 days to even ask for it, and then they come to us saying,
Yeah, we had.
yeah, how much do you need? How much
I think
do
we
you need?
did it for everybody. I think we did.
They probably did.
We did a lot for everybody. A lot of the questions we asked probably helped everybody.
So any information you come up with and what design you come up with for that figure, that would be appreciated to be passed to the board, please. Thanks.
I'll send it to Tommy and let him disperse it.
Okay. You just received yourself a load of work to do now, sir. So, anybody have anything for Mr. White? All right. All right.
And ARP, we have no updates. They still ain't approved nobody. 26, I think, at the last meeting I went to, 26 out of 179 applicants.
Mr. Tommy, you're next.
And this is something TDEC wants us to do, but we need to do it too, so we need to update our specifications for water and sewer construction. It has to be submitted to TDEC for approval. I think they ain't gonna cost a whole lot of money, we've already got a foundation for it, we just gotta look at it and update it. And they're gonna have to submit it with his engineer stamp on it.
Okay.
I don't think we're talking, some hours that we spend going through it, it ain't a lot of fun to do that.
Last time it was updated was 13.
It'll be well under my spending limit for
It's
that, to do that.
10 years old, it's time to renew.
I don't know if you needed them to vote to approve, no, I just wanted to let y'all know that we're working on that. And then I got a rough draft budget for this year together, but normally we had to have it together about this time. And in this 2-page document here, it's just our budget, and I put in this one has a 2% increase in it with a 1% growth. 1% just for expenses across the board, and we still have a positive income at the bottom of about $300,000.
Let's just calculate a 1% raise for the employees.
No, it's it has the step in it that they go by now. It covers one step.
So that's automatic.
It's like a 3.35%. Now I don't know if that's gonna go through. I just know
Oh,
that
it's
that's
gonna go through.
what it is. Well, I'm just saying, I put it in there as to budget by. Yeah. Let me think. Now this, in reference to that matching money, I got this together here, and I got a little sheet in here that just shows the layout of the things we're gonna buy, have to do, like the loan on the tank and how that affects you, but it's all in this budget here. And I would like to, we got some depreciation going off the books, so I was gonna buy some vehicles back with that at about $24,000 that will go off depreciation. And I could buy 2 trucks and a jetter machine for the sewer with that money. I gotta get some prices on those because the state don't have them yet, but I got a rough estimate from them. But we should be able to cover that. That's on this project purchase sheet.
I don't think I'll get that dump truck that cheap.
It's not a big dump truck. We'll see.
Good luck.
We'll see.
I just saw what that was.
We get you 2 of them.
We're actually
The truck itself is only about $49,000. The dump truck now is what will make it more expensive. But we're waiting. I don't know what the price is gonna be. I kind of went by one that I seen, but I gotta wait till April here to know. And the reason I'm buying the truck, this truck's a little bit smaller, not as big as a regular dump truck, but I'm gonna put it at the water plant and take that brand newer one that's about 5 years old and put it back in the field because the guys can use it better and they don't have to haul nothing but waste.
Yeah.
We'll use it to pull trucks, to trailers with. So that was the goal, to get this to replace that down there. Because all they need is something to haul the waste to the landfill. They don't need to worry about pulling the equipment or anything like that. It gets that truck usable, more usable in the field than it is right now. It gets tied up almost all week. We use it in emergency, but we don't use it all the time. And we've had our other truck had some issues. We've had to work on it. It has some rust in it. The control broke apart that lifts the bed. We're basically having to reform the whole platform of the floor of the truck. It's getting fixed right now. It's about $2,000 to get fixed, but we're making it where it works and safe. That truck's getting old, so this will help get a new truck road. We always try to rotate our fleet in and out when this depreciation, when they go out, we try to buy them back. Just keep good vehicles in here. And then there's a little look at the next year on some of the ARPA funds. I don't think we can get into it this year the way the state's going, but they're not approved nothing yet. So, but that's showing some of the ARPA monies in the next year round. And I did this here too. Just we inside of this, in the guise of this money, we may have to come up with. I laid out these 3 last sheets on the back. It shows a 2%, a 5%, a 10% over 10 years, and shows you how that affects your money. But all I wanna tell you is we do probably need to raise something every year in light of having this funding out here to keep up with that, build that money to pay that percentage, that 20%, 25% that we have to pay.
Once it does like say the money go up. I think you better look at that 2 and that 5 and get that 10, as far as a yearly thing.
You can, it's just a suggestion, you can look at it from year to year and change it, but I don't want us to be where they're not being able to apply for that money.
If word ever got out 10%, people come unglued, come in.
You don't wanna do it all at one time, that's for sure. You don't go increment here or do something that you're not hitting them with a high number.
I think 2%, they're not even gonna notice it.
Yeah.
5%, you know. They'll notice 10%, they'll be in here trying to burn the building.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanna lay out what it looked like to you, how it affects the rates. If you follow that, it starts at, this is our current rate right here. It's small, I apologize, it's about how I get it all on here. You might have to have a magnifying glass. This is our current rates, but it goes up, every year it goes up a percent, it's at the top. So this is 10, and that's how it affects each year. It shows you what your rate will change to. And at the end of this, it tells you what the total for 10 years, how much money that is on each minimum and, per thousand. But I just wanted y'all to have something to look at, that's how it affects you. But I just
The
don't
very
know.
bottom number down here is how much you would.
Yeah, you make this bottom number, that's what you'd make over 10 years, which is, at 10%, you'd make $1.3 million over 10 years, raising it 10%. That'll be the change in your revenue.
But that's a one-time increase, so we're talking about an annual or a
It's an
5.
annual. for
10-year
10%.
annual, 10 years.
If you raise your rates 10% every year, you'll only.
Well,
you'll
only make
only
1.3
pay
million more
1.3
over 10 years.
Exactly, so that's what you gotta look at, because that's $5 million draw
Well,
from.
you'll make
the-
money to pay a note, but you're going to have to borrow money somewhere, but you need to be building money to pay the note.
Well, I agree,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that, but.
Well, I just, whatever y'all.
I mean,
yeah.
10% doesn't scare me. I mean, my water and sewer together, I think are $60 a month, so it goes up to $6. I mean, but people just hear 10%, they wanna just,
I understand.
even though their water bill is the cheapest bill they've got, most likely. It ain't like, Tri-County next door going up 10%. Sure enough, gonna feel that one.
No, I guess the point is it takes a big increase to make
Yeah, it takes
a large increase in y'all's part to cover
Cover
20%,
20%.
that kind of money.
But these numbers are calculated off of our current number of customers.
Correct.
Yes. Well, this number here, I added like, every year it goes up, I've added 2% of growth in it for the
Okay.
customer number.
Gotcha.
Cause we about grow that way every year here lately, that's about been our number. But it does represent a 2% growth in this
Okay.
10-year period.
I wanna ask a question, and I don't wanna ask the wrong question, but I'm trying to think in terms of how to simplify the budget process this year, because last summer. And my question is, do we have, does the county commission have to go through this line by line like they do all the other departments?
They do. I'm gonna tell you right now, all due respect to anybody that's watching on that camera, they don't have to, but they likely will.
Because it would seem to me, and
You got 2 or 3 that act like they're having to write a personal check.
if I use the wrong term here, y'all tell me, but it would seem like the water department, I would consider a profit center, which means when you come with your budget and say, this is where we are, to show you're healthy, that the county court could just sign off on.
Rubber stamp it, and
You
let
know,
it go.
Yeah, that's my thinking. Now, has something been put in place that keeps us from doing that, or what do we need to do to get there?
When I first came here, there wasn't no, I didn't have to go to the county commission. We just presented the budget, it got put in. Then it got questioned quite a bit. The next administration, it started getting questioned quite a bit. We stopped some of the things that bothered the commission about the
Say the B word.
bonuses.
Say the B word.
That got took out, that was one of the issues that some of the commissioners had, that was removed.
Christmas parties?
We have a Christmas party?
That does not come out of the
It doesn't
budget.
come out of the budget, no.
Once upon a time.
They
Ain't
did stuff
never
like
been
that in the
right.
past.
But I think there was also a lot of confusion on the format in which it was presented because the water department's format is
We were
different than
different a
what
little
the Metropolitan has. And so we did collaborate with Amy
Yeah,
that
we
it be
got-
presented in a format that mimics what they are used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that did cause some confusion for a few people. And there was concern by others as well. And that's something that we've not articulated to you that we probably should. So when that gets transferred from the format that you normally draw it up, when it goes to Amy, we're asking her to regroup it so that it looks like what they see every day with everyone else's budget for simplification.
That was an issue last year, our budget looked
But
different
I mean,
than
there's
everybody
gotta
else.
be a better
But
way.
now Bubba can speak to this, I mean, this, I think going to the steps for all the employees, it's cut and dry, there's no chance of the water department giving 5% raises when the other departments, can't give anything, I think there was some issue there last year. But I fall back on, like you said, this is a profit center, we generate our own money. I
And at the end of the
understand.
year, you're solid, you know,
Looks like it.
anyway, I'll look into it.
I think it may go smoother this year, what do you think?
Budget time's interesting.
That was safe.
When you think it goes smooth, it's.
Was a safe
it's rough.
answer.
It's rough to go smooth.
Commissioner Grigger, that was a safe answer.
We'll see.
It just didn't look good with the bonuses and other county employees not getting it. I mean, it.
Well, all that's gone,
That's about it.
all that's gone away. All that's gone away.
Streamlined. But still, as a profit center, my thinking is, once you show your budget and say this is what it is, it's kind of a rubber stamp there, what you do.
Well, I think part of the issue too is a lot of flash
It's gone now, there's no one.
withheld until the last minute,
It's not a bonus.
cause friction.
People don't
Well,
like
and then also with our schedule, the scheduling of our meeting.
Then we were off.
We were off, so we showed our budget before they revealed their budget, and so it did.
And those raises for.
And raises, and that was made public, and so that brought up, a lot of concern and question as well, which is understandable. And so that's a lot of why we changed what week of the month that we have our meeting, so that it,
Better aligned with the commission.
exactly. Anything else, Mr. Thomas?
No, I just wanted y'all to see that, just to know that, we don't want to be caught with not having any money to, we'll have to rush out and get a loan or something like that. We need to build some revenue to cover these costs. It's not saying we have to do none of this, it's just saying this is how it looks, how this would affect it.
Can we confirm what our increase is this year for our percentage increase? I noticed you said on, that was.
Mine, the one I proposed to y'all this tonight is just a rough draft. It's about 2% increase and it's a 1% growth. That's what it's showing here.
And based on our numbers currently right now, is 1% accurate compared to what we received last year?
For growth.
Growth, yes, sir.
No, it's just a conservative estimate. It's a little higher than that. I just don't like to overestimate.
I told you we need to look at where we increased our rates.
Yeah.
November,
Mhm.
and see if we actually hit that target, or if you fell under the target, or if you went over that target.
So can we review that and then bring it back to the board and then we
Yeah.
really talk about these numbers again?
Well, I think we can. I think like the previous month, we had like 13% ahead of our income versus our expenses. That's a difference in that money. I did spend a little money this month to buy some more hydrants that were about to go up about $800 a piece. Before they went up, I bought about 20 more of those. That's why you're a little bit lower this month, so I think it'll go back up next month. I was just trying to take advantage of that. We had some cost savings there that we would have lost after the March here. So I bought them $800 cheaper than anybody can buy them now.
Can we get an update next month on where we're at on the hydrant replacement project?
Yeah, we probably got about 90 replaced, and then we bought more along the way. The last bit we got done, well, we can do that next month, but we've got quite a few. We still gotta start here, we're about to start back again doing more. We're gonna start down the sheriff's office
But ain't too much
first.
trouble for you, and I know you got a lot going on.
No, we'll do
That'd be great.
You the man, though.
it. It's about to start back up. We're about to get on it again.
Anything else, Mr. Tommy?
No, that's it.
We'll let the minutes show that there's not any public comments unless you would like to speak. Thank you. All right, so, any board comments? I have on the calendar, is it April 11th is the second Tuesday? Is that what we're working for?
Yeah.
And we're also looking to see if we have the equipment in hand at the new location for the water department, that we would have our Hartsville-Trousdale County Water Sewer Utility Board meeting at the new facility. If that's okay with the board.
Is that okay with y'all?
You cook yourself?
There's some over if you want it right now.
He cooked it today.
I cooked it.
All
How about next month? They ain't gonna keep.
Well, I might work that out for you.
right.
Now, we were gonna have some technology to do the same thing in there for this, to promote the meetings to the community. That's all right to hold the meeting over. That's what I was asking.
County has a motto, have laptop will travel, she can go.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
She probably will still have to run that technology, because I don't know that about it.
She can do it.
We appreciate her assistance. You definitely don't not want me to do that.
When we run in the meeting, they just make sure you always show up.
It was close today, so.
I'll call it to order and adjourn all the same breath.
Tell Jack, he's really good at court with this.
Have a motion, if anyone anybody else have anything? I can get a motion for adjourn.
So we
Second, motion carries.